Hello everyone. Welcome to the Data and the City webinar, where we discuss about how data and technology should first and foremost be aimed at increasing the well-being of citizens. And this must be enforced further in the future. In this week's webinar, I am your host. My name is Mari Mannista and I am the CEO of Shift. Nice to see everyone here. Shift main event program has been launched on our website, theshift.fi. We have a few additions. We have Gunter Pauli, Sirpa Pietikäinen, Doni Ligonis, and Vesa Riihimäki. We have a link in the chat for you, so I urge everyone to check out the program when you have a minute. Now, let's hop on to this webinar. Our first set in the program of this webinar is produced together with the University of Turku, which is only natural since we are broadcasting to you from the most intelligent region in Finland. First, we will have a speaker, Jaakko Järvi, about the future of higher level of technology education here in Turku. We have a brand new faculty of technology, and please welcome Jaakko.
Hello everyone. Howdy. So howdy, my name is Jaakko Järvi. I'm a professor in software engineering. Come from the Department of Future Technologies currently in the Faculty of Sciences and Engineering. So I'm primarily here to talk about what's happening in the engineering education in the University of Turku. It's expanding considerably, but considering the theme of the day, data and the city, I'll also touch a little bit on the kinds of research we do in this space in our department. So University of Turku has been giving out degrees in engineering, master's degrees in engineering for about 20 years already in ICT and in biotech. But now, last year we got we've sought to expand it several times actually, and finally last year we got the Ministry of Education and Culture granted the right for us to expand to other fields of engineering. We wasted really no time. We've already established 2 new degree programs in materials engineering and in mechanical engineering. The new students are already in and the programs are underway. So it's clear why we got this permission for this expansion is the clear demand for highly educated engineering workforce in Turku area in southwest Finland, and the support from industry, local industry as well. So it's really exciting time for us in this field and to be part of this expansion now and then start to deliver. So let's take a brief look at the composition. Let me switch slides here quickly. Maybe here. Of the new faculty. So I'd say first that the formerly or up to now the engineering education in the University of Turku has been within the Faculty of Science and Engineering, but now last spring the university decided to establish an entire new faculty as a new home for all or practically all of the engineering education in University of Turku. So this new Faculty of Technology will launch 1st of January next year. It'll initially consist of three departments: the Department of Computing. This is my current department, the Department of Future Technologies, that will undergo a name change when we move to the new faculty. We're about 200 people. The yearly intake of students to the Masters of Engineering program is about 100 and going up. And we have also a Master in Science program for about 80 students. The Department of Biotechnology is another all new department in this faculty. So it's the Department of Biochemistry currently, and will move and also change its name. Their intake, just to give you a rough, I don't want to show a lot of numbers, but just to give an idea of the scale of the operation. So their intake to the engineering program is 30 plus students, and Master's of Science program about 40. And the new programs, the new Department of Mechanical and Materials Engineering, both Materials Engineering program and Mechanical Engineering program are about 40 students, and they've already, as I said, the first batch has already started. So I'll just very briefly flash a diagram about the structure of the, that doesn't look good. Okay, the goal was the slide has mutilated in conversion. So this is what us ICT people should be able to, do better, but these things happen. So the idea was to show you the structure of the study program briefly, the degrees that we offer and so on, but let me just highlight a few points. What that underlies its design, and what do I think makes it unique. So we start the base. We offer four programs in biotechnology, in materials engineering, in mechanical engineering, and in computing. They all share this common engineering base with engineering mathematics, engineering physics, ICT studies, and so on. And then the bachelor phase is a rather standard, sort of traditional, in the sense that the computing bachelor's is about computing, materials about materials engineering, and so on. But then the master's phase, Turku University touts itself as a multidisciplinary university, and we're playing on that strength. So several of the specializations that we have are they cross department boundaries. Maybe the health technology being the primary example that is sort of shared with Department of Computing, Department of Mechanical. The materials engineering program has connections to biotech and so on. We also offer, every program has this thematic module that you can pick from a very, very wide variety of topics to further foster this multidisciplinarity. Every student will get a solid education in business as well. So there's a mandatory module on business education, on business studies that everyone has to take. So the goal is to give this entrepreneurial foundation, a good business background, business foundation for everyone. So our goal is to develop the new faculty into this somewhat unique and recognized hub of engineering education and engineering research. Source of highly educated engineering workforce for the local industry, a place where innovation happens, a place where startups are born, where world-class research is done. So we want to listen closely to the local industry. So I urge everyone to be in touch with us and collaborate, or continue to collaborate with us as closely within education and in research in terms of master's theses and so on. So I don't really have time to to discuss more of this topics we'll better move on with the theme of the day to data in the city. So I'll just give a brief idea of the research in this area, this field, from our perspective, from the Future Department of Computing. So we care about kind of the fabric underneath what makes a smart city tick, about not so much of the applications, but how we can make it all work. So I'll give 3 examples. First one here, the question is, where should computation for smart cities happen? Where should it take place? So this is just an idea. We have a research group that's focusing on edge computing and fog computing. There's a lot of sensors, videos, and so on, cameras around, sprinkled around in the city, collecting data. What is the smartest way of analyzing that data? Instead of sending everything, large amounts of data, video streams to clouds and cloud servers, there's an example of a research project where by dedicated algorithms, you can use a very low cost computers and low performance computers and still get good analysis results locally without having to send a large amount of data around. Another interesting question is cybersecurity in context of smart cities. So if the citizens cannot trust the data collectors, the smart city knows a lot about you. Smart city knows that I came here with the Feller city bike today. Can we trust the data? So this is a big theme in our research of how to make systems we can trust and the data stays protected. This is a picture of project with Salo, not with Turku. And here's a picture of project involving Helsinki. So I'm avoiding Turku themes, it seems. So another theme is open data. So to maximally take advantage of data for city planning, for policymaking, and so on, data should be open, and that involves making also open interfaces, open databases, and open algorithms. And we are involved in this project of our OpenGov to share algorithms publicly so that everyone can take advantage of these things. Okay, so I'll end here. I'm out of time, and this is all I had to actually say.
Thank you, Jaakko, for a very interesting brief on the new faculty. You told us that the new faculty has had a lot of support from the local industry. Could you elaborate shortly a little bit about what kind of opportunities for businesses there are in cooperation with you?
Well, so currently, one of the big things so far has been industry. We have several, many donations, and it has ended up in professorships. So roughly 10 at this point from local cities and companies around that helps us to kickstart this whole effort. In the long run, in smaller scale, where we wish to, and that's happening already, when people do their master's thesis, that they oftentimes are working together with companies. Yes. and companies. Obviously, that's a good source of getting your first job after your degree. Yeah. It happens, unfortunately, a little too often that you get your first job even before you have your degree because of the demand. And so don't be too eager of snatching our students. That's
good reminder. Yeah. Thank you, Jaakko.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now for the another speaker from the University of Turku. We are getting closer to practice and to you businesses and citizens. And now we hear about open geospatial data and digital skills for sustainable and smart urban. And we have Associate Professor Niina Käyhkö from the Department of Geography and Geology. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody, and regards from the geography section of the University of Turku. I'm Niina Käyhkö, and as I said, I've had a long history of working with the geospatial data issues at the university. Today, I work quite a bit also in the Global South, working with the challenges of urban development and how data and open data can catalyze change in those environments. Today I will talk a bit about what are the essential ingredients for creating or turning data into successful solutions when we try to address the issues of the smart city. I would like to have the second slide, if possible, for the talk. Good. Little did we know 20 years ago, when we actually took a major step as the first corporation to create open data repository here in Southwest Finland, that we would be in the situation today that open data actually is a norm for any city development. Lounais-tieto infrastructure, which currently holds about 400 datasets, geospatial datasets that someone can access openly here in the region of the Southwest Finland, was a pioneer in this development, and this was nearly 20 years ago. Today, Lounais-paikka is one of the data repositories that we have globally, and these repositories and access to different data services is mushrooming. The family of data services is enabling. It's like an engine for any digital decision making that we today witness in the cities, and data plays a crucial role. I do have to say, however, that access to data has taken us in front of another major challenge. We have to be able to create talent within those who use the data. And that is, of course, a challenge for the education institutions that do retrain people who have access and talent of turning data into value in the smart city solutions. We have global data repositories that are enormous at the moment. Let's take, for example, Google, who offers an engine for data, cloud-based data processing online. We don't have to go anymore into downloading major data sets. We can go to the data in these cloud environments and turn them into valuable information. We have many of these services today available, and I would like to think that the data and access to it needs to be catalyzed. We need to create mechanisms of how our society learns how to utilize these opportunities. One of the projects where we've been involved with at the University of Turku, together with the Department of Future Technologies, is a project funded by the European Union, where we've been trying to catalyze improved knowledge of access to satellite data. European Union, European Space Agency has invested massive amount of energy into open access satellite data, but it turns out to be such that not that many know what those data sets can be used for. Baltic Setup project over these last 2.5 years has been organizing different challenge campaigns, different hackathons, and bringing together those who have a talent with the data, those who have skills with the technology and analysis capacity of these informations, with those who have a need for smart solutions. And we will hear more about these solutions in the actual Shift event at the end of October. I would like to argue that even though data is an energy for a digital ecosystem of solutions, it is not the only critical factor there. When we looked at the global development at the moment, we have taken giant leaps with wide access to technology enablers. Data is one of those. Many, let's say, processing platforms are one of those. We have multiple elements in this digital technology, but it does not guarantee that the global accessibility to these data and technologies turns into locally valuable solutions. Smart city solutions, even though how generic they are, how replicable or scalable they are, they need to finally address issues of the locals, issues of the citizens, issues of the city's particular needs. The world is geographical, cities are different, and their patterns of growth and development and the challenges are different. Therefore, we do have to create a way to engage the citizens. And I would like to argue that any creation of a smart city solution requires the talent of the citizens to be engaged in them. Here we see an example of a sports tracker data that my colleague from Helsinki used to visualize how people have been moving in the city of Helsinki. This is one example, but it doesn't really recall for active participation of the citizens. This is just simply their data that has been then shared by the company for open access. But when we organize campaigns where citizens are actively participating, then it may create also loop effects where people and the citizens feels that they are actually learning new skills themselves. So they become part of the ecosystem of creating new solutions. We organized a couple of years ago in Tanzania a campaign where we had 20 experts voluntarily mapping 200 square kilometer large area. We were trying to track the current status of the distribution of the plantation forests. These people were trained 5 days, and within 5 days, they collected enormous amount of evidence based on high resolution satellite data. And this was used in a cloud computing environment to create a map of the current status of the distribution of the plantations. This methodology is cost effective. The only time it needs is a dedicated time of the people to renew it and participate with an open access data and tools. However, I would like to add more dimension into this citizen participation. I don't think it's far-fetched to actually state that any smart solution in the city has to be smart in the sense that it creates life quality impacts. This is an example from East Africa, where World Bank has been funding major investments on drone technology and mapping of the city infrastructures, combined it with the students' participation, and created open access data to mitigate the floods in the rapidly growing cities. This has created enormous ecosystem of knowledge of droning, drone technology, data production, and open access to data. If you want to hear more about this, my colleague Edward from the World Bank is in the main shift event, sharing his insights into how do we turn data, affordable tools into transformative investments for the sustainable growth of the cities. This is the thing that we do in the Resilience Academy project by training young generation of experts who then have more enhanced capability for employment. We have also done similar things with the high schools in Turku as part of the STEAM cooperation between the high schools and the University of Turku by organizing mapathons where students been mapping the unknown in the global south. I do like to finish by saying that the future experts in the sector of geospatial data and technology need to be transformative in their capacities. It's not enough just to know the data and technology. One has to understand how this planet works, how the Earth systems works, and how cities are constructed as mesh of different interactive elements. The professional career of geospatial experts is widening because of the engagement of the geospatial data in most of the solutions that we develop today. At the University of Turku, within the degree of geography, we offer quite substantial opportunity for learning these skills. In our bachelor degree, students can learn roughly 15 ECTS credits of basic methodology skills in geoinformatics, and then widen their skills in the master's degree. And if you want to know more about our programs, there's links attached to this presentation, which you may visit. And if you have anything you would like to ask more about us, please don't hesitate to contact. My contact information is here in the slide, together with the key colleagues that I share my office with at the University of Turku. Thank you.
Thank you, Niina, so much. We have some questions from the audience, so here we go. Actually, because you are from this came for Jaakko actually, but I can ask you as well because you are both from the university, and it has to do with the crisis of Corona and students. So how can we keep our universities attractive and open for international students as well from abroad, regardless of the pandemic?
Well, I do have to say that from my perspective, I think that one of the key issues is the participation, of course. Without the digitalization allows us to participate. It doesn't matter where you are. So the structures have to adapt to this situation, and we already see this. Our students are organizing a mapathon with the high schools of Turku in few months' time, and it'll be fully online. And last year when they organized this, there were also participants globally from different places. So there are technology solutions, that's not the problem. It's really the way we structure our cooperation. So I wish to see more international students engaging with us.
Cool, nice. Another question, since we need more data space in the future, I see that we have tech people following. Any hope for us to see Google data centers in Turku area?
Well, that
what can we do to get Google data centers here?
I'm also tempted to say, let's build our own data centers. But of course, I mean, Google is massive actor here, and I do encourage people to use the opportunity to access such a massive amount of data via their repositories. But I do believe that it's not that we need a data center. We need seamless network of data repositories, and we need talented people to know where to access them and how to access them. If the data sets are constructed with standards and protocols that allow machine readability, then it's not really the issue where the data is, it's how do you get access to that data.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that way, that it's not really only the one monster we need distributed clever structures.
Yeah, yeah. And actually we have another question from another perspective as well. If you could elaborate on the incentives for collecting open data for the collectors. So what are the incentives for businesses, for example, and not only for universities and public actors for open data, collecting open data?
Well, I mean, I think the logic in general is the fact that the data is a raw material. The data itself is not the end of anything. It is an enabler for added dimensions of solutions built on that. And I do think we have to cross that border by arguing that there's a price or let's say high value of data itself. It's not really there. It's much more on the layers of knowledge that we build on the data. So I think that should be the key here. And if we can accept that, then, and also at the university, we have to learn to accept that research data should also be free to access. And we are trying to build those structures as we speak, because those obstacles are unnecessary in today's world of data economy.
Yeah, of course. So the value is built further in the
and it gives incentive by giving visibility to your data, and therefore it gives you prestigious knowledge and all kinds of incentives that build on that.
So intelligent businesses should give their data openly for use as well. Because,
well, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's move on to our next program set. Thank you so much for the University of Turku for the insights. So now we are diving even more into practice. We have the city of Turku and the smart city concept from a human-centric perspective here. And we have Anna-Kaisa Berisha, who will discuss how the Smart and Wise Spearhead project of City of Turku has enhanced and brought value to the daily life of citizens here in one of the most intelligent cities in the world, a smart city for smart people. And I have to give here also a sneak peek. The city of Turku is hosting a hackathon as we speak, and you businesses, you still have time to participate. You can win the main prize of 10,000 euros and also smaller prizes. And Anna-Kaisa will tell you more about that in a second as well. So, welcome, Anna-Kaisa.
Hi.
Hello.
You. It's so good to be here. I'm so happy to be here today. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anna-Kaisa Berisha, and as mentioned, I come from the Smart and Wise Turku. And I'm here to tell you today about our project and what we have accomplished so far. Let's see if I can switch my slide. Is it working? Great. So first of all, let me tell you something about the phenomena behind our project. So the global warming, the increase of people, the urbanization of people. We already have 70% of people in Finland living in urban areas. Furthermore, cities are consuming over 2/3 of the energy in the world, and we are producing 70% of the global carbon dioxide emissions and other waste. We are also having social exclusion, sense of insecurity, as well as spatial segregation. And these are all a phenomena that keep growing and getting worse day by day. Also, the share of working age people is getting lower by the day. And in Finland, we have as few people under the age of 15 as we did back in 1894, sorry. So these are the phenomena that are affecting why we are here today. First of all, let me tell you how we define smart city. We think about it from the perspective of digitalization and the data that it accumulates, and these are the keys to a smart city. The digitalization enables the production of services untied to a time or any space or location, and increase the productivity of the city's own operations. With the wise city, we think that creating conditions for the citizens, companies, and other actors to utilize the data, we enable economically, socially, and environmentally sustainable growth that supports the well-being of our citizens. So this is what we mean with smart and wise. We have 6 focal points in our Spearhead project. First is carbon neutrality and resource wisdom. The second is customership and service management. We have safety and security, urban design, traffic and mobility, and the prevention of social exclusion. And now I will today focus on the human-centric perspective. So we want to be a smart city for our smart people, our citizens, and the city concept is presented from a human-centric perspective today. The data and technology we have are first and foremost aimed at increasing the well-being of our citizens. So to do this from a very, very human-centric perspective, I will take you through a day of a smart family that lives in a central place in Turku that has 2 parents, has a child, has 2 children, teenage twins, and a grandparent. The family members, first of all, can commute to work and or school by the city bikes that we have or other means of public transport. The data is collected regarding the routes that the bikes take and the utilization rates, etc. And we optimize the stations and the number of bikes, etc. as we collect the data. We have less parking places needed. We have less pollution in the central area. We have better environment, healthier citizens as a result. Soon, we will have public transport users of the family benefiting from the customer relations management system that is going to be brand new in our public transportation sector. This is a tool that will enable us to send reminders to our card holders if their time is about to run up or if their money is getting low on the card. We can send them notifications if there is any route work or unexpected occurrences on the routes that they take on a daily basis. So it enables us to communicate with our people much better than we have been able to do so far. At school, one of the twins can take part in a safety project. We have had many projects in the safety department that are aimed at the youth and their sense of security and safety. In this case, the pupils fill in questionnaires regarding their safety issues, and the school's councils give ideas of what kind of projects they would like to partake, and then the pupils are able to vote for their favorite projects, and then they are actually executed. For example, we have had lockers that can be locked, and we have changed better bike racks to schools to prevent theft of bikes during the school day. Also at the schools, we have vegetable options served on a daily basis, and we are collecting data on what is altogether the need for meat in our services regarding food within the city. However, in this family, the other twin did not go to school. They are skipping classes today, and they will receive a call from our outreach youth work. So this is a service that contacts pupils based on the data that we have on the number of missed classes. So they will phone the pupil in question and they will arrange a meeting, face-to-face meeting with the pupils on their terms, and they will further instruct them where to get the services that they need and give instructions and provide further assistance. And then also the parents are able to use, also the other members of the family, but they can use our Varamo digital service to book access to all kinds of culture, sport, other leisure activities, such as the city's music room. So there's no need to own pianos and guitars and other huge instruments if you don't want to. You can use the common spaces that we have in the city. And this is completely digitalized process nowadays. We have electric doors. You open them with codes. You don't need to have any keys, any paperwork, anything. You can just do it all online. And we will get that user data in return. The grandparents of the smart family can participate in the planning of a new multi-service center coming to their neighborhood via a virtual experience. We are testing 3D classes and other virtual opportunities to get a different perspective on planning from the people who will actually use the end product. So for example, if you have a multi-service center that will be aimed at the elderlies of our citizens, we want to partake them into the planning of the facility, and we can do that through the use of virtual methods. Also, once the parents are back home from a long day at work, they can organize that their parcels for next week are delivered with the last mile delivery service. So this is a pilot project with many companies such as DHL, and the idea is that the last mile of the delivery is done with an electric bike service. So we will have less traffic in the center, we will have less cars, less trucks going around, but there we have a logistic hub in the Puutori, and that is the place where all the parcels come, and then they will be taken forward by the electric bikes. So this is again for a better environment in our city center. Also, as mentioned earlier, the parents can partake in the Turku Citizen Dashboard Hackathon Challenge. This means that they can, well, this week you can still participate as a participant and try to compete for the 10,000 euros. But after this week, starting next week, people can vote for their favorite solution regarding the dashboard at our kerrokantasi.turku.fi open hearing service. So please go next week and vote for your favorites. This is very important for our city to hear what the citizens actually want. We don't want to make this decision for you. We want to hear about it from you. The Smart Advice Turku is not ready. This is what we have looked at so far is some things that we have accomplished so far, but we still have many goals to tackle, and we still have a bit over a year time to do so. So now I will take you through some goals that we still have about the future. First of all, due to smart building, the parent who is working at a city school will benefit in the future from a cost-effective and yet healthy space. So currently we are having a pilot project that we are doing at the City Hall, and we are about to expand this to many other places. So what we are doing is we are monitoring these spaces very carefully, and when with many sensors, and when the spaces are at full capacity or in use, we maximize the energy consumption so that we can have a fresh air, good air for the people, the right temperature, and so on. But when the spaces are not in use, we are able to correct the consumption of the energy to the right level, so we will waste less energy, and we are having more cost-effective spaces. Also, we have the Aurora artificial intelligence project that is creating a bot service that will collect all the services under one roof, especially regarding the youth. That is the pilot project, and we will map out the needs of the individuals and offer suitable services. So this is heavily based on digitalization of our services, and we will receive them data on the issues among the youth, and what are the key things that we should put our efforts in. Also, in the customership and service management sector, we are building a multi-channel customer assistance and service coordination project. And once we are done with this, the grandparent, when it's time to have a hip surgery, when they get back home, we have the information in the city that we have an elderly person getting home from the hospital, and we can offer all kinds of services that they need directly to them through the account that they have. So we can offer food, cleaning, nursing, pharmacy services, everything directly to them, and they don't have to look for them anywhere, but they are offered automatically. Also, we will have a resource flow analysis coming up. We are trying to really dig into how are the resources allocated and how do they reflect the actual needs of our people. We are piloting this in the youth sector especially, but we are really looking into how are the resources allocated, service by service, area by area within the city, and thinking about if our resources are divided in the correct way, or should we maybe do some adjustments to them. Also, big goals in the carbon neutrality front. We aim to be carbon neutral by 2029. And after 2029, we want to be climate positive region. And these goals are huge goals, but they are currently looking very positive. We are aiming the right way, and these seem completely reachable at this point. All of our citizens and companies can partake in this challenge. We have a web page, the link is at the end, where you can do your own carbon plan. How can you reduce your own emissions or your family's emissions? And we have many companies who have taken part in all kinds of projects in this field to lower their carbon footprint in the region. Also, we have another project. We are partnering with Kuopio and Helsinki, which is called Digipave. This is about digital service network. The goal is to start a systemic change from a production-based planning to a human-centric and dynamic service network planning. So we are doing a huge project in the network planning sector, and the aim is to be proactive in the future instead of the current reactive state that we're at. Also, let me take a few minutes to tell you how the city is a partner to all the companies in the field of business and data. We partake in a variety of projects with the goal to deepen our understanding regarding what kind of development in our operations is required from the business perspective. For example, how to improve our open data solutions to better suit the needs of the customers and companies. We want to be a proactive enabler in the intelligent business environment and offer possibilities to companies to use our city as a platform to test out and explore ideas, innovations, and so on. We want to create intelligent business services to support intelligent business and citizenship. And here are a few examples how we want to be a platform for companies. In the field of Smart and Wise Turku, we have the Turku Citizen Dashboard Challenge going on right now, and it's completely based on open data. So all the data is already available, and we are also taking in suggestions what kind of data we should open for our citizens and other actors. We aim to up our game all the time, and we also have open 3D city models. It's now open data as well for any company or individual to innovate whatever they want with that data. In the Turku City Data, we have now a city-owned company which is completely focused on data utilization. And we are also part of the 6 City Strategy, which is a smart city strategy that is concentrating on database solutions, open data portals, and improvements in service development and planning, as well as co-creation and other innovations. So we are an active part also in this. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I'm not seeing much. It seems that this slide has gotten broken, but let's that doesn't bother us. I just want to say that thank you so much. We are a smart city. We are a wise city. We are never ready. We are always evolving. We are always developing, and we will never be ready. But we hope to see many of you to take part in our journey. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Anna-Kaisa. I have to comment myself first that I really like the combination of the human-centric perspective to the smart city, but actually you brought up the kind of the beef in the last minutes that still, even if we take the human-centric perspective, we can still have business opportunities on the city platform. And this is what we at Shift believe also, that intelligent business, it doesn't exclude sustainability and the human-centric perspective and the profitable business, but we can do those together. So thank you so much for that. And again, we do have some questions.
Great.
Could you still mention one more practical example of a project that City of Turku has done together with businesses to make Turku smarter than before?
Well, most of our projects are done together with businesses, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes. We are also, well, the theater, it's not a company in it outside the city, but we are also having this kind of combined services done in our city. So for example, if you want to go to theater and you want to go to theater by bus, then nowadays the bus ticket is included in the theater ticket itself. So you don't need to have two separate tickets. So it's, again, we have a need for less parking places, and it's a smooth experience, so to say. But such combinations are also we're looking into do with other companies outside of the city. So take contact if you're interested in such services.
Exactly. Give Anna-Kaisa a shout if you're interested in cooperation on the city platform. Other questions. Are there all the same initiatives in other Finnish cities, or is this smart city things that you do, are they city specific? This is a question from Helsinki.
Thank you. And greetings to Helsinki. That's a great question. I would say nowadays all cities are interested in this. We are looking a lot outside of our country to look for examples of excellent smart cities. I would say that Turku is in the very front in Finland regarding this issue. So we have gotten all kinds of nominations and rewards, and our Niina has also been telling about our smart city concept in international platforms. So I would say in Finland we are at the very front of this, but of course all Finnish cities want to be smart cities and are doing projects in that field. Yeah,
of course. So open data, open sharing of information so that we can learn from each other, very important. Why cities, even the smart ones, are still designed for cars?
That's a great question. Thank you again. We are doing a lot in the city to have less cars in the city center. But for example, if you look at the Tori project and other such things, but it's a slippery slope. You have to take into account so many different actors who work in the city center, and you have to take into account the way of people's lives and how we go about our days. It's a huge shift in the mind of people. We cannot just go and say no more cars. Turku is a car-free zone. It doesn't work like that. But let's get back to this in, like, I don't know, 150 years.
Let's get back to this. And I have to comment that last week with Sitra, we were talking about this kind of a shared ownership, and how owning cars and having your own car actually also has to do with convenience, and it has to do with systemic change. So we have quite a lot of work in front of us before we can say that no one of us owns cars anymore, but we can do it. Yes. Two more questions. Will aggregated data sets related to social work be made open in the future?
Another great question. We are looking to open as much data as we possibly can. Of course, there are a lot of legislation and everything that we have to take into account with this, and safety issues, security issues, individual rights of people, but aggregates and such, we are doing everything we can to open as much, but we have to keep a smart pace about it. We shouldn't rush into things we don't know what are the repercussions of. Yeah, but hopefully.
Great. And last question, does this Varamo already exist?
Yes, Varamo already exists. So you can go to Varamo and you can book all kinds of leisure time activities and city spaces to use via the Varamo. And we are adding there new things all the time. So we have just launched it. And yes, we have stuff there, but we're adding stuff all the time. And please send us feedback if you have any good ideas, what you would like to be added in the Varamo service.
Great. And do you still want to add a couple of words about the hackathon that you have?
Yes, so you still have this week time to participate in the hackathon as a computer. So you can go Google it, or you can find it at turku.fi, or you can find it at Shift web page, anywhere in social media. And please, you can sign up with the video till Sunday evening if you are good at this kind of a thing, if you're very slick with data. But if that's not your thing, then wait till next week. Then we are opening the open hearing service at the kerrokantasi.turku.fi, and there you can vote for your favorite dashboard ideas. And then in the main event, we will know the winner.
Exciting.
Yes.
So thank you, Anna-Kaisa. So to participate in the Turku Smart City Hackathon and win 10,000 euros, please go to the link that is shared to you in the chat and check out the possibilities. You still have until Sunday evening. And in the main event, we will know which one of you won. Now we have come to the end of this webinar, but do not worry. We will dig deeper into the subjects in the main event on the 27th and 28th of October. The main event is arranged in the Innovation Center Joki here in Turku, but we do have a virtual event space as well. It's a 3D event platform where you can explore the festival in a game-like environment, and you will see a sneak peek video after we stop here, so stay tuned. On top of Edward Anderson from World Bank, whom Niina mentioned already, that will dig deeper into the subjects, we have a couple of speaker recommendations for you. We have Mikko Alasaarela at the main event, and he will talk about the responsible use of data in the future. Jaakko Sahimaa will talk about a technology from the human-centered perspective, using technology for well-being. And Heidi Lindvall will talk about making climate tech possible through investment and supporting inventions towards commercialization. Cool, I'm glad that we are at the end now. So check out the participation options on www.theshift.fi/tickets. And the tickets are starting at the moment still from only 79 euros. So it's a really, really small investment into the more sustainable and profitable and more intelligent future of your business. Thank you so much for participating. See you at Shift.